Good evening and welcome to United Real Therapy, people. We got a special guest on here tonight. We got a special guest, man. Man like Sentiment. Is that how you say it, bro? Is that how you say your name, yeah?
CM22ENT.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
CM22ENT. That's how you pronounce it, yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
In my head, I
could just say CM.
CM. There we go.
Yeah.
CM. We got CM. We got Tom in the house as well. Big up, Tom. Tom, there's a bit of a feedback from you, so silence your mic for a minute. What did we just watch? Sorry about you guys. My internet is going absolute crazy, and even my 4G was acting funny. So I've had to basically switch everything off and reset it, and it's finally working. So big up to every one of you guys waiting. What I just saw has not surprised me, to be fair. I knew Newcastle always give us a hard game, and they always give it, even though they're the worst team. But what I saw in that first half, and those of you who saw my tweets, Man United cannot play. Ralf Rangnick needs to realize ASAP. 4-2-2-2 ain't going to work with these players. And especially, we don't dominate in midfield. I'm going to ask you both guys a question. But first of all, see, man, I'll just pronounce your name because I'm dyslexic again, so remind me again.
CM22ENT. Yeah.
But what's it short for, yeah?
CM.
Yeah. CM, brother. Talk to me about what you saw. When was the last time Man United dominated a midfield in a football game?
I can't remember. Literally, I cannot remember. It was a situation where, you know, we started nervy from the beginning. I remember Harry Maguire. I have to say something. What is it with these defenders letting the ball bounce before clearing your lines? Why does this always happen? I've seen Maguire do it. I've seen Lindelof, the fullbacks. Everyone does it. It's like when you're in schoolboy football, they teach you, they say, get a head on it or just clear it away with your boot. But for some reason, our defenders constantly let the ball bounce, and what they don't notice, and surely someone like Ralf Rangnick and his coaching staff will say, they are going to press you if you let the ball bounce. So I don't understand why they keep on letting this happen. And then the patterns of play in this game, you know, slow on the ball, poor ball retention, everything that Ralf Rangnick is speaking about. It's almost like from that first 30 minutes in the Crystal Palace game, we went all the way backwards against Norwich, and today was even worse. These guys did not expect Newcastle to come onto. It's like they didn't expect Newcastle to press. They didn't expect Newcastle to play well at home, to be aggressive at home. You're away from home in a hostile environment, and it's like some of these guys were afraid to play, afraid to express themselves on the football pitch. Manchester United Football Club.
I agree with everything you said. I think you said everything the way I analyzed the game. You see the game similarly. But to be fair, you don't need to see the game similarly to be able to see Manchester United's passing stats. Horrendous. I'm talking about 3-4 yard pass just in the middle, just a little knock. I'm talking about taking time on the ball. I'm talking about being effective and closing somebody down close to you. I'm talking about headless chicken, one-man press back again. It's like we've gone, and you know, in that game, Crystal Palace were horrendous. That's what this shows me. Crystal Palace on that game were horrendous. It's not that we were that good. Oh my God. Anyway, we're going to go to Tom. Ali Bumbaye, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Tom.
Evening, gents.
Evening.
Sorry, go ahead, Tom, man. Go ahead.
I'm speechless.
It's all yours, Tom. Take it away, brother. Tell us.
Speechless.
Why
Like,
are you speechless, Tom?
well, what have we watched, guys? Like, people complain and moan about the way that we play and everything. We've gone new system and all this crap and everything. Like you've already said, Nuruddin, we've played 3 games already. Palace, all right. Palace were crap on the day, like you've already said. But Norwich, Newcastle,
You're not looking at me funny, man.
they're fighting in the relegation battle, for God's sake. Relegation teams, and we can't even play the simplest of formations. The midfield couldn't string a pass from 5 yards. And when we play this 4-2-2-2, where have we ever seen that in the Premier League where you see a lineup like that? Honest to God, right? I've never ever seen a 4-2-2-2 be played in the Premier League straight from the off. It's never happened. And in 3 games we've played it, albeit we won 2. One of them was a penalty. One of them was a magic goal from Fred out of nothing. Cavani again today. Realistic goal out of nothing. Got us out of jail. That's all it's done. Got us a point out of the game. Like you say, we go to Newcastle and you cannot tell me you go into a hostile venue like St James's Park where they need the points. They're scrapping at the bottom of the table. They desperately need points, and you don't know what to expect. I think we need to start and look at some of these players and think, even if they're homegrown players, I couldn't care anymore. Some of them are just not, built for the basics of what we want to do. Rangnick talks all about he wants to play, how, the German philosophy should be played, high pressing and stuff. They're not listening to him quite clearly. Because if he's saying these things on the training ground, he said before the game, we've had brilliant training sessions before the training ground got shut down and after it. What have they been doing? Honestly, what have they been doing? Running corner to corner? Has that just been it?
It's incredible.
And we're relying on what?
Mm-hmm.
Corners that come to nothing. Did you see the stat that came up today? We've not even scored a set piece all season. And we brought in a set piece coach in the summer. Shocking. I mean, sorry to swear, where has he got his qualification from? But like I say, we need to hold some of these players accountable. We've said it for a long time. Harry Maguire shouldn't even play for this football club, let alone captain us, for Christ's sake. Yeah.
It's criminal.
Fred McTominay today, garbage. Absolutely. Can't string a past 5 yards. Didn't even get into Newcastle's team today. If you can't pass 5 yards, you're not built for the Premier League. It's as simple as that. You will not play for any club in the Premier League. I couldn't care if you're top of the table or bottom. If you cannot pass 5 yards, you don't make it in the Premier League. It's as simple as that. You see the Manchester City every single week playing simple picky pocket 5-yard passes, ticky-tacky football. Yeah? Could you honestly see McTominay or Fred doing that? They can't do it. They haven't got the ability. They haven't got the minerals, nothing. Yeah? There's the 3 players that I've already mentioned there. Yeah? Then we got into the attackers. We're talking all this, philosophy and everything's about pressing. Nobody's even running. We can get into the Ronaldo slander. He didn't run and all that crap. I'm not going to go down that alley anyway. Greenwood come on today, for example, came into the team. I'm not getting on the lad's back. He didn't really do much. I didn't know what his role was today. We're playing split strikers. You're playing Rashford and Ronaldo up there. What have you got Greenwood on the field for? He's not number 10. He's not a midfielder. He's probably never even played there in his life. And you've shoved him out there against Newcastle. I don't get the thought process behind it. I look at the exact same thing. I'm sorry, Nat. Rashford, this kid, I don't want to get into him too much because they're local lad and everything. And it's not reactionary what I'm saying, but he's just not good enough.
Tom, there's people like Rashford, McTominay, because they played for the youth. They've been there since they were a young kid.
Listen, get away from this class of 92.
But that's not what
I'm sorry. Get away from this.
You're saying Mourinho invented a trophy for Scott McTominay.
This is the thing, though, Nuruddin, right? Let's get away from this United DNA, the class of 92. That's a different era now. You look at City. They have one young player that might make it into the first team. Because they go out there and they recruit the best that's in Europe. You can't always build from your own backyard. Sometimes you've got to go and get the proper people in to build it alongside or around. Look at Liverpool, for example. The only youth player that's come through their system that makes it into their starting 11 on a consistent basis is Trent. We've got how many players in our team that have come from the youth academy. McTominay, you know, we look at the likes of Rashford and stuff, Greenwood and that. I remember when we used to field half his team with the young players. Yeah, but I don't want to hear this crap anymore about the young and everything. They've had time. They've had years now in this league. I'm tired of all this crap where we're going away to teams like Newcastle. I can't even come away with 3 points. It's shocking. But like I say, we need to hold these players accountable now. And like I say, Martial's already gone out the window. Bye-bye. Yeah, I honestly wouldn't surprise me if a couple more of these players start having second thoughts about, what am I actually doing at Man United? Yeah. If I get an offer coming for Rashford, I'm taking it straight away. I don't care anymore, man. Listen, I'm telling you now, right? If we're going to get rid of anybody, hold on, let me make this final point, Nuruddin, and then pass it on to Ali. All right. If we're going to get rid of any forward right now, why the hell are we getting rid of Anthony Martial ahead of Marcus Rashford? Because Rashford, all I'm seeing is a stick man with legs. That's all I see when he runs up and down the touchline. A stick man with legs. When we saw him break out, we saw this blistering pace, a brilliant young kid. He's lost a yard of pace now. He can't even run away from John Joe Silva. This is how bad it is now, where we're getting with these things. And we can't blame it on players because we had the whole crap where we bring players in and stuff from injuries. But it's getting tiring now and it's getting boring. Because suddenly, where we say this, where we're not anywhere near winning a league title. We've not been anywhere near a league title for 9 years. Let's be real there. Even when we finished second. I'm going to have to come back to you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think you made great points. For me, it's not about Martial or Rashford. Rashford's 90 minutes today was the second 90 minutes he's played since May. So, to me, I understand that, but he was poor and horrendous. And Alanga would have done more for me in that second half, especially in that last 20 minutes. But Ali Boumbaye, before you laugh, go ahead. One of the biggest Ollie inners. You want Ollie back?
He never left, man.
Oh man.
No, I thought today very impressive gegenpressing, really solid at the back. I can see why we paid the money. Brilliant, really enjoyed it. Man, I'm all laughed out. I watched Chappelle's show and then I watched this. This is rivaling Chappelle's show. I tell you, but this is serious. This is been laughing hard. But look, it's the man's third game, yeah. So this is the guy everybody said, we all accept. We'll take it.
We're at the season off.
Yeah, forget it, man. You forget the season. But this is the guy everyone wanted. But now it's begging the question, really, guys. Have we got a good team? No. Because we've had previous managers. We had Mourinho, and it was if Pep had this team, he'd tear it, he'd kill this league. And then we got Ollie. I'm just going back in time here just to try and figure out what is happening here, just for some closure. Because we seem to say the players are mint.
Fans here.
It's the manager's style. Ollie came, the players, now the pressure's on. He's got to go for the league. Wow. It's the manager. Now we've got Ralf. Is it the manager? Is it the players? I'm a little bit lost now.
The football club, mate.
It's the structure. It's the whole club.
It's the football structure, mate.
You know,
listen, actually, you know what? You support Scott McTominay and Fred a lot in this channel, right? Tell me about their first half performance, please.
I thought, man, Fred today was not good. He gave the ball away a lot. He was headless Fred today. I thought Scott, for me today, man, was actually, I know you're probably going to laugh, was a better of a bad bunch. I'm here all week, boys. I'm here all week. But you know what's scary?
Go on, elaborate.
No, bro, this is a game. I mean, you made the point. You made the point.
Let me mute my mic for this because I don't want to start screaming, right? I don't want to be...
Today's game, it's like he was saying, like Tom's saying, these guys have come to scrap it out and they're going to try and break on you. You've got to stand up and be counted. If we're not gonna be able to play our game and do all that pressing and all this stuff that we're supposed to be doing, then you've got to do the core stuff, the fundamental stuff right. You've got to win your battles, man. It's that type of game. The ball was in the air a lot. It was just all over the shop. And Scott, when it's like that, he does stand up and be counted, and he gets stuck in. But man, today, Varane, Maguire, it wasn't good, man. The final balls in from Delort was not. The whole thing was awful. I don't know if the players are buying into this. I know it's early. I don't know if you guys agree. If you're going to play straight through the middle, 2-2-2, doesn't that mean that Delort and Telles are absolutely fundamental in that type of thing? To give you numbers in midfield and then to give you that ability overload and, overlap in the final third.
I'll ask you, can I hold it there? Hold it there.
Yeah.
Fred and McTominay got the pass in them to be able to play from deep in our midfield, or just as soon as they pick up the ball from the two centre backs, to play a ball 30 to 40 yards on somebody's toe? No, they don't.
Impossible.
They don't.
No, bro. For me, I think Scott McTominay's got very good pass in him going forwards. I've always said that to you guys. He can play the ball.
He might have a good pass backwards, but I don't know about forwards.
No. I mean, look, this isn't one today. You know what? Fred and McTominay are easy targets.
No.
These are not really. Look, you need to be looking
in midfield today. Anybody who played in midfield, I asked the question again. When was the last time Man United dominated midfield in a game? Midfield is one of the most crucial parts of a football game. If you've got midfield that dominates, when you don't dominate the midfield and you don't win the game, that means your forwards had a blank today, or they're not taking their chances, or the keeper and the other defense did a proper job to lock you out. When was the last time, in your eyes, that Manchester United Football Club, a football team, in the past 3 to 4 years where we dominated midfield?
Bro, that's a bit of a misleading question, though, because when I'm watching United and I'm watching Fred and McTominay, I mean, they do their job a lot of games, and we're looking just ahead of them, and they get the ball into Bruno, or they'll get the ball into Pogba, or they'll get the ball into Rashford or Sancho, and then it just dies a death. So I can't, you know what? I've got to look at these other players, because today was a classic. I said to you when Ralf Rangnick came in, I don't know Ralf Rangnick. I liked Conte. I wanted him. I would have taken him. At least I know him. But our problem is all that teams are doing is just going with a low block. We can't get through. And I said to you, it's all good him coming with this high intensity, but what's he going to do when he's got the ball? Is he going to be able to break teams down? I mean, if Fred and McTominay, bro, are just doing their job, they're not the ones that are going to come and unlock a defense for you. A lot of the times in the last couple of games that he's been here, the last 3 games, we've had plenty of the ball in the opposition half, but it just dies a death. Nothing happens.
No, because you got. Do you know what I mean? Let me say this to you. In midfield, you can afford to have maybe one person who can't pass the ball. But you can't have 2 players who can't pass the ball 30 yards on a diagonal and hit somebody to somebody's feet. We don't have that.
Scott McTominay, we were sat here, me and you, we said he was our best player the other week, the last game we played. He only played the ball forward.
I listened against Norwich. In the first half, how many times did Scott McTominay give the ball away?
No.
It's not. I'm not going to look at them. Do you know why? Not because I'm protecting them. Because everybody was giving the ball away. I'm saying?
Creative. They're the guys that we look to creativity. Scott McTominay against Norwich was a Man United best player.
Yeah. Right, no, bro, look,
yeah,
I don't look. These guys, their jobs is in a game like this. I mean, you had the ball in the final third a lot. 29% possession we're looking at here with Newcastle. I don't know why I'm even looking at Fred and McTominay. I thought, first of all, the defense was shocking, man. Absolutely all over the place. Then in the forward line, Rashford was really poor. Sancho came on. Not good. I thought Greenwood was okay.
Ever again. I hope.
Yeah, Ronnie today was not having a good one. Bruno was awful. And I understand if Fred and McTominay are getting murdered, and it's not that kind of game. It's like, look, they're not offering much. They're looking to counter on you. Here's the ball in the last third. How are we going to open them up? What are we going to do? There's nowhere to go. It's just 2 banks of 4. It's like a low block, usual. Can't penetrate, can't break them down. Defenders, Maguire today, every pass he's doing is it's not a good pass. Long balls. we just huffed and puffed, and it was just half-eyed, man. I didn't see nothing.
You see,
I think
the
that
thing
the
going
team
forward,
collectively,
though.
man, it has to be more fluid. We have to have more intent going forward. We've got to start being able to do them runs in behind, man. You know, people play a low block against City, against Liverpool, but they know what they're doing. We have a lot of work to do, and Rangnick is going to need some time, man. Today,
Well,
sad.
what was that? At the end of the day, I'll ask you the question again. I'm not making it about the midfield, but the midfield is the foundation where, in terms of creativity and attack, you can't have two players who play in midfield that play with zero creativity. Scott McTominay and Fred in that first half gave the ball away. When was the last time Man United dominated a midfield, fan?
It's been that long, I can't remember, to tell you the truth. It's been so long.
They're in a game. Exactly, they're in a game. They're in a game.
There is. I can't remember them. I cannot remember at all. I've been asked
the best teams in any football dominate the game. They dominate because they've got a foundation and midfield base to go from. The defenders were horrendous. We might have had 70% possession, but 70% possession when the ball is going between the two centre halves to the full-backs out wide and then back to the centre halves means zilt in football. Football is about cutting edge. We don't have anybody. Soon as our midfielders get the ball, the two fullbacks, that should be the trigger. Soon as Fred and McTominay get the ball, it should be the trigger. Two fullbacks go right high and wide. And can they deliver that 30, 40 yards on the angle ball to somebody's feet? No, they can't.
No.
I'm sorry, they don't have to be in the team. Now, today, everybody was shocking. Everybody in that team was shocking. I'm not saying them out, but I'm saying to you now, except for Degea. Thank God for David Degea. That's all I was saying. Everywhere you go, always take Degea with you.
Give him player at season already for Man United. Give him player at season.
Locked up. Done.
We lose. Without David, we lose. Irfan, quick reaction and we'll go to CM.
Depressing, very, very depressing. I mean...
Depressing?
Not pressing, because I don't know what pressing is. Depressing. Yeah. I mean... To tell you the truth is, like, obviously you could see that Newcastle had way more hunger, desire. They know they're in the end game. They've got to fight for every single point, and they've got a decent manager now. But I don't know. I mean, like Ollie said, quite a few points already, and I'm trying to work out. So, is the little honeymoon with Ralf over? Is it already finished?
Fun. We had a one-game bounce.
Yeah. That was it.
Managerial bounce in history. One game bounce.
So it's all right. So let's try and get past a bit of the depression which we got right now. Yeah, let's ask ourselves a question. So obviously the energy was on Ollie before, like Ollie and the coaches, like what you've done to this team. Now since Ralph's here, now it's shifted to the players. Like it's a very interesting time for us as a supporters to say, okay, so we let you guys go. You jokers, McKenna and everyone gone now. Now it's just the new manager and the players.
Feeling still there. Darren Fletcher's there as well.
Yeah, but look, Nuruddin, look, let's be honest. Let's just try and walk in Ralph's shoes for a minute, Rangnick's shoes, yeah? What is he seeing in training that keeps these two guys together? I still don't understand why Donny doesn't even get half a game. Even half. Why jump Varane in straight away unless you really have to? He's not played for ages. Rashford's hideously out of form. Ronaldo gets nothing. Bruno will give you half, and he'll be quite horrendous too. Sancho made so many opportunities, just finish. His touch wasn't there. We looked horrendously. We looked like a really out of form team. No confidence, no desire, no fluidity, no strength, no nothing. They look like the team that are ahead of us in our position.
Bottle job mentality.
No.
Their fans have gone. I want to check all of their underwears, all those players when they were on that pitch.
But if you're Ralf now, what do you do? Do you say to these guys, okay, because let's be honest,
I'd rather play the team that he played against Young Boys.
Yeah, but Nuruddin, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is there's clearly an issue with these guys all think their position is safe. That's what I see when I watch the players. I don't see anyone thinking, oh, I'm not going to get a game next week, especially the core of the team. And that is a disease infection that they are carrying. They're carrying it. Now, whether Ralf has got the bottle to take them on, I don't know. Because in sport, yeah, they don't sack 10 players, they sack the manager. There's too costly to sack 10 players. But this is the equation we're staring at right now. We're staring at who is going to give. Is he going to give or are they going to give? Because we know with our crooked, hideous lack of structure that nothing's going to happen because they're going to be looking to the sky like everybody else is. So I don't know what's going to give, but that was one of the most horrendously bad, uninspiring performances I've seen by United. 71% possession and you do nothing with it. The absolute nothing with. I thought after we push on, after Cavani scored, I thought we'd push on. But the bottom line is defense is poor, midfield is shockingly poor, and up front the creativity to feed the strikers is badly out of form, really badly out of form.
Irfan, I'll say it again. I'll come to you, CM. I'll say it and I'll say it simple. The way we play, this 4-2-2 formation ain't going to work with these players, especially with those two in midfield. I don't care what anybody tells me, because you need control. What he means by control, Ralf Rangnick, it means control of the ball in midfield and be able to create. Where do we go from here?
Well, first and foremost, talking about the midfield, if I look at all of the top teams, they have a midfield where it's just one guy that is used to break it up. And the other midfielders are there to progress the ball. They have the ability, they play with no fear, but they can also pass it. They have the ability to pass the ball forwards. Our defense is used to shield our centre-backs. And that's our biggest problem. Because if you look at Fred...
Our midfield, you mean? Midfield.
Yeah, our midfield. So our midfield is used to shield our defense because Fred and Scott McTominay, they don't have... I think it's definitely something up here. Because the mentality of the players, I'm sure they're professional footballers. I'm sure they can pass the ball. But when you talk about coming into pressured situations, I'll look at their social medias and they're playing this foot tennis thing and chatting about their winning every week, every training session. And then they step into a pressured environment. They can't pass the ball 5 yards. They can't. It's like their legs are trembling. They're scared to take risks. And that's our biggest issue. In terms of where we go from here, Ralf Rangnick, this week and going forwards is going to say a lot about who Ralf Rangnick really is. Because there are certain players in this team who should not play for a prolonged amount of games. And of course, there will need to be rotation along the way with this period and with the games we have coming up. But some of these guys played criminally poorly today. Ridiculous. And it hasn't just been today, it's been a continuous thing for the whole season. When Ole was here, now Ole is gone, Rangnick's here now, and it's continuing. We had that one game against Crystal Palace and it was only really 30 minutes of good football, and then they started to drop off. And Norwich was rubbish, today was rubbish. And the excuse, I can already hear the excuse. There's going to be an excuse saying, well, we haven't played a game, a couple games, and then we had the COVID thing where players had to isolate. But I don't want to hear that, because this week alone, we've had coaches complain about the fixture congestion and talking about how there should be things like 5 subs and players, less games and all them things there. So what is going to be the excuse for this game? Because today I saw a lack of aggression. I saw a lack of energy in the press itself, because there's 2 ways you can press a football. You can use energy to press, but you also need organization to make sure that if 2 men are pressing, there needs to be someone behind blocking that pass if it gets through.
Cut out the passing
There was
lanes.
none of that.
Cut out the angles. Cut out the passing lanes and the angles. You don't always have to do headless 100 miles an hour pressing. So you simply get players in positions to cut out the passing lanes and to cut out the angles. When we are in possession, angles are there. We can't pass the ball. I am never going to see Sancho give the ball away as much as he did in the second half. He might as well have been asleep. I look at it again. There are certain players who come from the youth team of this football club who are guaranteed to play. To me, that can't happen. At the end of the day, Super Nick here, money has robbed this football club of ambition and winning mentality from top to bottom. These things don't happen in a vacuum. The performance that we've seen this season don't happen in a vacuum. Chickens have finally come home to roost. When you have zero structure, zero strategy, zero planning, a team that has a way of playing, a way of approaching football as a football club, When you don't have that, everything can happen. Everything that can go wrong can go wrong. At the end of the day, he played him. He doesn't. Nobody at this football club. I don't know what's wrong with Eric Bailly. Nobody ever trusts him to play 2 games in a row. So Varane comes back. He plays him. One thing about Varane, I'm glad that the thing happened today because now he realized in the Premier League, it's not like La Liga. You're not gonna have time.
No.
To me personally, this 4-2-2 thing, you can't implement it into a Premier League fast pace. Every game's 100 miles an hour. When you have players on the pitch who are good enough on the ball, who are technically gifted, and who are not have energy to get the ball back and press the right way. But I'll go back to Ali Boumbaye. Where do we go from here? Because we got Burnley in 3 days.
Where do we go? It's hard to say where we go from here. I mean, because it's so early on.
I'll tell you who doesn't play next game. Maguire doesn't play. Bruno's already out because he got 5th or 6th yellow card tonight. So he's banned for that game. So Bruno's not going to be there. Maguire doesn't play for me. Rashford also needs to take a rest because he's only played 90 minutes. Rashford has played 2 90-minute games since May. 2 90 minutes.
Look, I tell you this, yeah. Forget
Matic, Donny play against Matic and Donny start. Matic, Donny, and McTominay. We play 4-3-3. We're not going to. I don't want to.
Bro, look. Do you know the thing that you're asking me here? Yeah. Obviously, everybody's watching the games, and everybody has an opinion on who should play and who shouldn't play. I'm not a professional manager. I don't see the players every day. In that midfield department, we have got one thing that we do have going for us is that we have different types of midfielders. We've got the Fred and McTominay type that are pretty tenacious, agile, break-up play. They're good at that. Then you've got Paul Pogba. Then you've got Bruno. Then you've got Donny van der Beek. They have different qualities, these players, depending on what you want to deploy. If Oli persisted with a certain thing, and now if Ralf Rangnick, who, let's be honest, I remember when everyone was like, yes, this is what we need. This is the type of thing that we're looking for.
That we need to build a football structure.
Well, when we got him, there was no, it wasn't like getting Mourinho or Oli. There wasn't really reservation. We thought this is a guy that plays game pressing, good football and all that.
At the end of the day, playing that football in Germany when the game is a lot of difference. I said it. I put it out the tweets. People were calling me negative. I said this could go wrong because this guy, he builds football structures. He's not won a trophy to be successful wherever he's been with a football style. His style, you have to have the players that he recruits himself.
All right, look, he's coming to the club knowing what he's got. And we discussed this, he might be able to bring in 1 or 2 players, but he's not going to be able to bring in 10 new players. But in terms of what we got, the pedigree, the type of football that we want to see in that, I don't know him. But I can think, say with reasonable confidence that nobody had any reservations. We welcomed him.
Listen,
if he persists to play, listen, look, if he persists to play with Scott McTominay and Fred and stuff like that, then you've got to ask yourself, what is it that we're not seeing? Why is Donny not playing? Why are certain players that we think should play and not playing under 2 different managers of 2 different ills? Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to come to it. I'm going to answer your question. Yeah. Fred plays the Rangnick way. He's a number 8 with a high press. Okay. All the teams that he's coached, they always have a number 8 who's a high press because he's up the high press. Scott McTominay, Ferguson licks his batty. Jose Mourinho invented a fucking whole new trophy for him. They're not anymore. They're not. I'm telling you now. Listen, I don't care. But the whole propaganda, if you keep an eye, the way Manchester United propagandize, the way the propaganda works, Scott McTominay is like the second coming of Roy Keane, but he's not.
What is it that you're saying? What are you trying to tell me?
Donny van der Beek today has to have a word with his new agent. They need to get out within the next 2 weeks out of this football club. 1st of January, to me, if his agent was clear, because to me, this is abuse. This is humiliation of a young footballer.
Look, there's two things, bro. Look, there's two things. Dino, there's two things I can respond to you with that. Yeah, the first one is what Irfan said, which is Ralf Rangnick. Maybe, we're gonna find out. Has he got the balls to do what needs to be done or not? That's one. But the second thing is, if Ralf Rangnick, a footballing guy who's had a different type of success, what he's achieved is no small feat, taking Hoffenheim from third division to, challenging for European places in Bundesliga. He's done some pretty phenomenal stuff. His pedigree is there. He's well respected. But if he persists to play with a team and with players who we believe should not be playing, then maybe we're missing something. We have to ask ourselves, this is the second manager that seems to be persisting. Or is our main problem the defense? Because if, my brother there in the top prize, it's CK, KC? CM, sorry, man. If CM, as he was saying, those guys are having to be deployed there to protect the defense, which is definitely viable looking at this defense. Maybe we need to get ourselves another centre-back, which I don't know where you go from here. We've spent 80 million and apparently Varane world class, and still it's shocking to free up one of those places to bring somebody else in, to then put a Donny in or put a Pogba in comfortably and think, right, Fred, Labour, give it to Paul, pull the strings. One of you is Kante, one of you is Jorginho, one of you is Thiago, one of you is Fabinho, which is what CM's saying, I think. So, I'm saying? It's an amalgamation of many problems, but where do you start to address it? So where we go from here is we tune into Burnley and pray. That's where we go.
No. We hope. You forget to put the hope. We hope.
No, that's what I'm saying to you. There's a lot of variables here to
me,
consider. Everybody's making good points.
All I'm saying to you is this. It could be my opinion. It's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
The fact that Scott McTominay and Fred play more than Donny van der Beek, it's a crime against football. Me personally, it's crimes against football.
Okay,
it's humiliation on this football. This kid. So this kid needs to get the effing hell out of this football club. If he's gonna have any chance to go and play in the World Cup and be part of that squad, Van Gaal already spelled it out. If you're not playing, you're not getting picked. Go ahead, Irfan.
Wait, but Nuruddin, look, I'm with you all the way, but I'm trying to step back because, today is the game that we could all go crazy. It could be the tipping point because we thought we'd got better because we got rid of the donkeys before, and we're thinking, wait a second, we're back to the donkey. That could have been Ollie in charge. That could have been the worst of Ollie. So let's just.
Well, listen, we played against a relegation team playing relegation football. After
two
results against Norwich, and the result against Crystal Palace. Before that, we were playing relegation football.
Well, let me ask you a question. How different was that performance to the Norwich performance? Tell me.
Say that again.
How different was that performance against the performance against Norwich?
It was quite similar, but worse.
It was exactly similar. It was similar. We had more possession. That's the only difference.
No, but it was the same crap. It was very similar.
We had more possession, but it was the same crap. And still, Newcastle had the better chances.
That's what I'm saying. You could say
brilliant saves.
Yeah. So you could say that both Norwich and Newcastle are unlucky not to beat us. You could say that and not be seen as crazy. Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is, regarding it's the Donny point that fascinates me, because this is the one that really fascinates me. You don't understand because you're showing more frustration than you normally do. Even you've gone a bit deeply frustrated today because you saw that performance. You're a bit hopeless, like most of us are. Most of the fans today are thinking, "What the hell is going on?" Right? But
you made Newcastle look like a top 6 team.
But wait, we'll get to that in a minute. But let me ask you a question. What I don't understand is that. You watch Donny. I don't know what we've seen in training, but you watch Donny and you can see he's a gifted footballer. You can see it straight away. It don't even take 5 minutes of watching this guy. So explain to me how he doesn't even get 20 minutes in the half.
There's a hierarchy of this football team.
Okay. So let me ask you. Let me go back to your second point, because younger fans, some of them sometimes I'm not sure they understand this, but I do believe there's this huge pull of magnetism at Man United protecting McTominay's ass, almost to the degree where even now with Fletcher there, Fletcher's thinking this is the new Fletcher's probably thinking about McTominay.
Fletcher, they think it's the second coming of Roy Keane.
No, Nuruddin.
How the propaganda works, Man United.
Nuruddin, the only thing I can think of that makes sense is obviously what you're saying is right. They obviously see him as the Messiah, midfield Messiah, because he's a big, tall Scottish
the hill, Irfan. Yeah. Ferguson praised him to the hill. Jose Mourinho invented a new trophy for him because he passed the ball back at Old Trafford. We're all screaming, pass the ball forward. Yeah. And Jose came out himself and said, instead of listening to the fans, he listened to me.
Yeah. I'm with you because I don't understand it.
Scotland, where does Scott McTominay play for Scotland?
So wait a second. So what we're saying, he plays in defence. He can't get in midfield. He's nowhere near as good as John McGinn. No chance. But let me ask you a question. No, because we're here to give the listeners and viewers something to chew on, to make them think that something they're not going to hear in the national press. So let me just say, so the agenda that protects McTominay is very, very deep. And it's to do with
Rashford as well. And Rashford.
Yeah, well, that's I was going to say it's the British-born bias. It's the bias they have with their homegrown players.
You know what certain pundits say, Irfan? He's a young player. He's 26 years old.
Oh, listen.
Listen, boys. You know what? I think this debate is worth moving forward now. It's getting a bit tired. If we're going to play, listen. I've got a question for you. This is a good question. Yeah.
Man United. Look. Why are we
listen. The whole team's playing awful, yeah. There's bigger problems than Scott McTominay and Marcus. Everybody's playing awful. But let me ask you this question. If you're gonna play 4-2-2-2, which is what Rangnick seems to want to do, yeah? Two questions. Number one, how does that actually work? Are the fullbacks good enough to play it? To me, tell me if I'm wrong, anybody, or if I've misunderstood, because this is new to me. Aren't they the ones that are basically having to move up the pitch as we progress the ball in order to give us that width and in order to give us numbers wherever the ball is in terms of the pitch? And are they good enough? And number two, if that's what Rangnick is going to do for the foreseeable future, what do we need in terms of players? What do we need in terms of players to do it? Where's the deficiencies?
Listen,
so let me get back to this. Let me just finish because I know what you're saying. My point is slightly related to what Mr. Mumbai just said. The reason I bring up the Scott McTominay thing and the Fred thing to a lesser degree, Nuruddin's right. Fred likes the high press number 8, the energy, and he can do it because he's done it in a couple of games. He can do it. But the reason I always call out the McTominay thing is because the first thing I see, the most vital thing wrong with this club is not using Donny van der Beek in lower down in the pivot. It's the biggest. Any footballer person I speak to every day that I respect says the same thing. Now I ask myself, how can we as just football fans know this? And the hierarchy at Man United doesn't get it. So this is the question. So it's not like this is the most vital question because that midfield gets passed through and mugged every week. We watched him every week. It's the core thing that Ralf has to fix. Now you can say that Maguire's out of form, Varane's out of form. You can say that Varane's only coming back, but the reason I will not let go at this point is because this is the thing that's killing the team more than anything else. Okay, there's lots of issues with egos and out of form and shit, but that midfield is the biggest problem that Ralf has to fix.
Listen,
and it's not
I just want to ask Ali Bumbai. We're going to move on back to CM in a minute. Midfield dictates the game. Remember Keane, Scholes, but with McFred, that's not happening. I'm sorry to say, they're both, when they play for United in the Premier League, he might be good for Scotland, he might be good for Brazil. But when they play together, they don't dominate. You know what game this season we dominated midfield one game this season? It was when we played 5 at the back against Tottenham, who were toothless. We only dominate the midfield and in games where the other team is bad. And we did it for a half against Crystal Palace. CM, I'll come to you with this, right? Do you think this football club now we're going to see, do you think we're going to find out the answer that how much power as a quote, as a consultant, he's going to have, right? The job after this 6 months, right? Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, when you don't sack the manager enough, you don't get that Europa League final doesn't send you massive alarms. The whole alarms in the system don't go off after it's not the way that we lost against a village from Spain, Villarreal. They're a village in outside of Valencia. I've been there, right?
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been there. It's a village, 45,000. Withenshaw has got more population than Villarreal. They're a village. We lost a village. If that doesn't send the alarms off, it's not that we lost the game. Anybody can lose a football game, whether it's a final or whatever. It's the way we lost. If that doesn't get you firing, right, to change something fundamentally long, then you wait, and we have interim, and the bankers write off the season, because I always said this would be a risk. He's never managed in this league before. He's bringing out a new formation. I've asked these questions. I'll give you this context, sorry. The question I'm going to ask, are we going to see now that they're going to have a faith in this consultancy after this 6 months? And is he going to be given the power to change that midfield?
Well, first and foremost, I don't think that he's going to have the power that we all hoped that he would have already, because the fact that they were speaking about, I remember when the reporters were asking him questions in his initial press conferences, and it's almost like he didn't know what kind of role he was going to be in after the 6 months. And then he started speaking about, well, maybe if I do well, they offer me another year as a manager's role and stuff like that. Like, he's not even sure of the role that he's going to be given at the end of those 6 months. So just going on the past things, I don't trust this board and the hierarchy to give an outsider as the power that he wants to get. We all know the kind of power Ralf Rangnick wants. He wants complete control of the football side of things. Manchester United will not give that up. The fact that they said, what's his name, Ed Woodward is staying on a consultancy basis shows that he's still he's probably going to have more power than Ralf Rangnick when it's all said and done. I mean, it's such a frustrating situation, because with the team, you see so much inconsistencies, and then you look at the hierarchy and you see so much more inconsistencies. And those are the guys that are supposed to be orchestrating everything, making sure things run smoothly on the football side of things. And it's almost like they don't have a clue, because, you know, I think it was Irfan said it. How can we see things as fans? We are not trained professionals. These guys have FA level, whatever licenses, UEFA licenses in coaching and all this kind of stuff. Like, these guys train with them every week. Ralf Rangnick speaking about video sessions, looking through games, seeing where they've went wrong and see how they can improve. And still we're seeing the same mistakes over and over and over again. And this will just be another excuse for the board to say, well, you know, we're not 100% sure on what he would have done as a manager if it continues like this. So how can we trust him with the footballing side of things, or, you know, with a role that means a lot more than just a coach? It's almost that spin factor. They'll create a narrative.
Right on the head. You've absolutely hit it right on the head. And one thing about Ralf Rangnick, people, when it comes to the structure side of the football, if he does not feel like everybody is giving him the power to get behind him, he does a runner. They sacked the doctor that he wanted. The club didn't sign. He left. I'll come back. I'll come back to you, Ali Bombaye. If you don't think that we're scapegoating the midfield, right? Because today, and you know, I'll come to Stephen Kramer. Stephen Kramer, Ronaldo as a footballer works on service. It's called a service, right? A service. Strikers mainly, we've been saying this on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. To be the striker for Man United is the graveyard. Everybody's been saying, because you're not going to get any service, right? So if Ronaldo missed sitters today, he nearly got himself sent off because he was so frustrated. Because we might have had 70% possession, but did we give him the ball in the right areas? You have to provide chances for your things. How many shots? Can anybody in the comments let me know? How many shots on target did Man United have today? Can somebody tell me? Well, I'll come to you, Ali Pumbaye. I'll come to you, and it's simple, right? Fish always rots from the head.
Look, I think I think Scott McTominay is a really good player. I've always been a fan, and I know I get a lot of flack for it, but you know, I do.
Do you think he's good enough for Man
United? Yeah, I do. I think
okay.
Scott McTominay, for me, I think it's a myth that he can't pass forward. I really do, big time. I think Fred is fundamental. He's one of the first names on the team sheet. Today they had a bad game, and straight away everybody knows that they're going to get killed. But like I was saying before, Ralf Rangnick is a footballing guy. He's not going to be dictated to, because as you said, if anybody wants to watch a little bit about Ralf Rangnick's rise to where he became, he leaves. He doesn't suffer fools. I want full control. I make the decisions. And even though I don't know him, he's impressive. This is a guy that is well respected by all the best managers. Thomas Tuchel is a manager today because of Ralf Rangnick. Jurgen Klopp.
He's not famous for being football structure. He's not famous for amazing. He's not famous.
But what I'm saying, but hang on a second. Look, the structure is the structure. Okay,
No,
that is something that has to be fixed.
Most famous from building football teams.
Not just bro. He builds football teams. He brings young players. He plays innovative football. Do you know what I'm saying? He's the full package, and that's why he's here. He's here to do this job first, and hopefully move upstairs so that we can reap the fruits of that labour on the pitch. But Ralf Rangnick is not being dictated to. Scott McTominay is not going to play because somebody said he has to play. Neither's Marcus Rashford. That's to me, that's just foolish. I don't even entertain that. That's just some arrivals nonsense. These guys are playing because he's picking them and he sees something that we're obviously missing, unless we know better than him. Now, Ollie, you might say, bro, look.
It's early Nobody, no other manager. You can bring Pep Guardiola to me. I know Pep Guardiola in his life will never pick Scott McTominay over Donny van der Beek.
Okay, look, we're dealing here.
Manchester United, I've been screaming out. The last time Manchester United dominated games is when Oli first came in with Herrera, Matic, and Pogba. And when we came back from the lockdown, we played three in the midfield. Matic, Pogba, Bruno as a three. We dominated football games. This idea you play two sitting guys, for me, is a misnomer. And CM put on it. CM said it. You can't have CM when analyzed the game first. He said you need one guy to win the ball back. The best teams in modern football.
Well, I'm not disagreeing, Dino, with what CM is saying.
One guy who tracks the ball back, right, wins the ball back, and one guy who's better than him on terms of the passing.
Yeah. Bro, that's what I just said.
Those two in terms of passing. In that first half, I'm always fair. Scott McTominay and Fred's passing was absolutely shocking. Both, if I was manager, both get off the pitch. Both of them. I subbed them even in that half. That's if I was manager.
Listen, let me pose this to you then, bro.
I'm not having it. We can only analyze game by game. Last game against Norwich, I came out and said, when everybody in the comments was going crazy at me, I came out and said, today, Scott McTominay was the best player with David Degea.
Bro, I know he did. But what I'm saying to you is, bro,
when you're playing in a midfield too.
Nuruddin, let's move this thing along a little bit, bro. You keep ranting and raving. Relax. I know you don't like these players. Let me tell you what I'm saying, man. Just listen. Just listen for 1 second. Just listen to what I'm about to tell you, man. Just listen to this. This is objective stuff so that you can look at things realistically and move this discussion forward. There is no point in coming on here every week and just blasting the same players and saying the same old shit.
I can't blast the same players.
We're not the manager. Look, listen to me. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. This is a real manager.
Okay, why?
This is not only. Listen to me. I just said to you.
He's not coached. He's not been coached for the past so many years. He's been a director of football. He's not been a coach. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. He's not coached. He lost to Boston.
Wait a second.
He was the director of football. He wasn't the coach.
Wait a second, Nuruddin. Wait a second. Let's just
2.5 hours on the phone with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, learning what the players have to offer. Donny van der Beek needs to F the hell out of this football club because we're humiliating him. Why is the global fan base, millions of fans support Man United? Why do everybody talk about a midfield? Why did so many fans were like, we didn't need to buy Sancho. We didn't need to buy Varane. We needed to buy 2 midfielders because we're sick of the midfield. Man United were football club for 25 years, had some of the most dominant midfield players in football.
Guys, we've heard all this before, innit? This is like every week it's the same shit. We heard this. Let's move this thing forward a little bit.
You're telling the whole world, every Man United fan, that you're wrong because you're sick of seeing McFred.
All right, look, we have got a guy there called Donny van der Beek.
Wait. Can we just say, we are trying to move the debate forward because we all listen. If there's a problem and you don't understand what the problem is, how are you ever going to move forward? So this this show today is highlighting how weak that midfield really is. Now wait a second. Wait a second. This is about whether Ralf understands the same point that we understand. Whether he is
there's a flip side to that coin. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Yeah, you're not letting me. I've been trying to explain to you, Ralf Rangnick. If he's deciding to play these players consistently, then maybe you're wrong. Is that a possibility? Is it impossible that you could be wrong?
We don't know that yet. That's the question. We're going to find out whether Ralf.
It's been 4 games.
I will accept what you're saying. We're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
But what I'm saying to you as well, CM was making the point earlier, right? Do you know what? How am I supposed to get on this channel and have a discussion? You keep just cutting me off.
No, but I'm just saying to you, Donny van der Beek needs to leave regardless. He needs to leave regardless.
Right, okay. I mean, tell me something I don't know.
No, I disagree with that point. We need him. We need him, Nuruddin.
CM was talking before about...
Donny van der Beek. Everybody's agreeing now. Other fan bases are telling me I'm gonna mute my mic and let you speak.
Honestly.
Go on, Ollie. Go on. Speak, please. It's your turn now. Go on.
Matt, I told you before, there's a possibility that you might have to ask yourself, why is he continuing like this, like the previous manager?
Yeah.
Put that aside. The second part of that is, as CM was saying before, most of these top sides, they have a Kante style and then they have a ball player. They complement each other. Keane, hustled and bustled, and he could play as well, and he gave it to Scholes. Yeah, we get all that. We've got players there that are made of different stuff. So you've got your Fred or your McTominay, you want to put one of them in there. And then you've got Donny van der Beek, right? He can play. You got Paul Pogba, he can play. They can be our Jorginho and that. Is that not right? So the solution might be there, but if he does not choose to take it, then you have to ask yourself why. Either he's a shit manager and we've done another dud, we've had a complete disaster. But I don't know if that's true because this guy's got serious pedigree. I know Nuruddin said he's not been coaching, but if you look at what this man has actually done and you read about him in terms of his contribution to football systems, his innovation, what he built in terms of a team, players he discovered, and how he made them players really good and sold them on for big money. This guy's comprehensive. He's done things that are amazing. So yeah, he's not won a trophy in that. But this guy knows football. It's not Ollie.
So let me just
answer that quickly. Everything you said right. Every other football club, zero expectations. At Man United, every game is.
That's my point. That's my point.
Pressure on every game. He's not had the time. They've closed the training ground twice because of the COVID in the last
week, so all right, fine.
Twice. But at the end of the day, these players that we think are all good enough are not good enough. For me, the fact that Donny van der Beek is not getting a chance, even with the new manager, to me, explains to me there's something rotten at the core of this football club. Because the way that Scott McTominay is talked about, he's been at this football club since he was 7 years old. He's first in, last out. These things are what people, the way that the club pushed that, first in, last out, never shrugs, always there. Oh, they want him to be the captain. And if I ask you now, you will be in a percentage of 1.25% of Manchester United fan base who won't want him as a captain. Harry Maguire is not a Man United captain. Harry Maguire was shaking on the ball today. We saw him shaking, right?
You know what? Scott don't shake in many games.
Not today.
Scott don't shake in no games, so I would give him the captaincy.
I'm talking about Maguire. Maguire's a captain, shaking.
No, I know, but I'm saying, Scott, you don't get that from Scott. In no big games, he don't shake.
No, I'm not talking about shit. I'm talking about Harry Maguire, right?
I know, Harry Maguire, forget him. He's not a captain.
The minerals to be a Manchester United captain. I'm going to let Irfan come in and see him come in. For me, it's simple. Is this the player saying, you might be some guy who's innovative, but who the fuck are you, Ralf we can get rid of you as well. And you're only here for 6 months. So why the hell should we listen to you? Why the hell should we close down? Why the hell should we fight for second ball when you're not going to be here in 6 months anyway?
This is my point. This Nurdin, but this is my point when I'm thinking about. Look, like I said, we're all very frustrated. I keep saying that, but that's what I can feel like. I haven't felt this kind of frustration for a while. Well, not since like when Ollie started to go downhill. It's that kind of frustration. But look, what I'm trying to say to you is that okay, he's had 4 games. He hasn't had many. Yeah. We're a little bit like completely, we're dumbfounded why he still doesn't pick Donny. Yeah, we get that. My other worry, though, is that you just hit it on the head as well, Nuruddin, is that I don't know whether I'm starting to doubt whether he could do it with those guys in our team. I can see him to do with the young players, the young and hungry, to put their name on the map and build their careers. I could see it. I can see him doing that because he's high energy.
The director of football left and he said, anybody over, I don't want to sign any player over or the age of 23.
Yeah.
That's his own words, by the way.
So that goes back to my point then. My worry coming back and still trying to take all in what I saw today is that will he be able to sort these prima donnas up? And I was talking to City fan, Liverpool fan before I came on the channel. I said, look, when I look at all your teams, yeah, every other team I look at, I have one equation in football. It's a very simple equation. I look at the team and I make a judgment on what I call how close are they to their peak. Are they pre-peak, as in they've not peaked yet, or are they post-peak, or are they at their peak? And when I look at Man United, I see too many players who are pre-peak and too many players who are past peak. I don't see players around the peak or are peaking right now. And that is my major worry. And I'm really hoping that Ralf sees that as well. I'm really hoping. But he is not doing himself any favors by keep picking that donkey, Stock McTominay. He's not doing himself any favors. And I don't care if you don't like it or not. I'm going to keep saying it. When I see that donkey play for this team, and I see how bad he is. He can't turn on when the ball's past him. He's too scared. He's like he reminds me of footballers from the 70s when I used to first watch Man United. That's what the guy reminds me of. So I'm hoping.
I'm going to give you.
I understand we're asking a little bit too much too soon. I understand we're asking for a lot, but the pressure on us because the way Spurs and Chelsea are going, we're going to be struggling to get top 4. So this is why it's hurting today.
Today, I said that this game was one of the most crucial games. To me, today, United not getting the 3 points. It's not about sometimes always about the performance when a new manager comes in. You build that slowly. But it's about the points. Man United failed to capitalize with 70% possession because I look at it when me and Saeed do the Monday or the Tuesday. We look at the football all throughout the week. The whole week we do Prem therapy talk. I never look at a possession. The 2 things I look at. I look at chances. How many shots they've had on goal? That tells me that they are attacking intent, and then it tells me how many they had on target. CM, could you think some of these players? And the reason why, by the way, Ralf Rangnick only likes young under 23s is because he knows that they're not made the money yet. They're hungry. They're hungry for fame and money. So they will do anything the coaches say. CM, how many players do you think are not listening to his instructions? And do you think, because knowing that he's only here for 6 months, how move that kind of mentality when we got prima donnas who think they've made it? I'm sorry to say, Scott McTominay, Harry Maguire, Rashford, Ronaldo's Ronaldo. We can put him out the game, right? Fred, all of these other players, Telles, all of these other players, Varane, you put him out the way because he's won World Cups and he's won things. But a lot of the other players who've won Jack, they've won nothing of note. They've not lifted a league title, but they think they're better than they are. Do you think they've looked at him and said, nah, mate, you're not that guy?
Possibly.
I wouldn't like to say that, but it's almost that could be the case. I feel like even before Rangnick has come in, these guys, there's almost like a celebrity thing. Like these guys are treated like they're higher than the football club almost, or they feel like they are higher than the football club. Because in a lot of these performances, I look at basic things in a football match or a Manchester United football team that should be effort. I know a lot of the time people are saying I'm sick of people just congratulating people with playing with passion, but that's a basic thing. In any football team, really, you play with effort. You get the simple things right, like passing the ball 5 yards. That's something that you don't even have to do in training. because you should be getting it right on a professional level in the Premier League. The basic things, I mentioned it at the start as well. Defenders letting the ball bounce before clearing it. It's the simple things that go a long way. And if you can't do the simple things right, then how do you expect to do the complicated things, like breaking down teams? The simple things are having dynamic movement, dragging defenders out of position to allow other players and other attackers to move into that space. If we're not doing the simple things right, I don't understand how we're going to do the complex things. And it's like, we have the players, we have the stars, we have the Ronaldos, the Cavanis, Pogba, who will be coming back soon. Don't know if he's going to stay in the summer. We have all of the stars, but they're not meshing well together. And that's always been a problem since Sir Alex Ferguson has left the club. There's always been a lack of cohesion. The recruitment has been poor. It's just the cohesion altogether. The manager hasn't got along with the players for a long period of time. Ole was probably the longest guy that everybody liked, but we can all agree that Ole's coaching style just didn't work towards the end because he brought us to a certain level and he couldn't elevate further anymore. So
100%.
In terms of that, it's a lack of cohesion between the whole squad. Definitely, I would say some of these players, they see themselves better than they really are, because the simple things in football that you should be doing, having the hunger, having the desire to chase down every last ball. This is it's 1-1, and even at 1-0, you should be thinking, I want to get back into this game as soon as possible, because as if our lives depend on it. This is the season we're talking about. We cannot afford to drop points after the way we started this season. You expect, especially after we conceded, guys to be running, chasing down the ball, getting the basic things right. We came out after half time and still we're the same team. That is a problem that goes beyond the coaching. Beyond the coaching. I'm not saying the coaches are not, to be blamed, because everybody can be blamed with a sort of performance like this. But the players, they have to be looked at today, and they have to look at themselves, each and every one of them, especially when they go on the training pitch the next time, and wonder, what are we really here for? Are we here to just collect a paycheck? Or are we here to win? Are we here to cement a legacy in the game of football at Manchester United?
Fair enough. I mean, Nuruddin, the other point is that much as we sort of, analyze the weaknesses, etc., somebody could come in here and say, what you want and I want is not going to happen with this team, no matter which manager you bring. That wouldn't be rational to say that it's not going to happen with this team. When you think about it very carefully, the kind of football we want, there's a reason that you can it's wishful thinking that's not going to happen. So like I said, let's just try and give them a couple more games. Let's even give them this small little bit of doubt where they said that they're not trained properly, they weren't ready, they looked rusty, they weren't ready for it. Yeah, let's give them that turkey. The fact that they've been eating too much turkey, etc. Whatever crap we can give them for this game, right? But we now know the pressure on Ralf is major. The pressure on the team is big. It's even bigger than before. And we know that this is not going to be no happy ending so far, because this could get very ugly very quickly. But like I said, the only thing that someone could say to us is we're being a bit hasty. We're asking too much progress too soon. That's the only thing I could come back to help calm us down, to say, look, we are overreacting a little bit because we're asking too much change too quickly.
I don't think we're overreacting. Listen, I don't think
I'm trying to be the other person.
I think we've been totally shredded in a football. Two games from two possible relegated teams. We've been torn to shreds at times, and without David Degea, we would have 0 points from 6.
But Nuruddin, you can't buy passion. You can't buy drive. You can't buy determination. You can't buy it. I saw it in Newcastle. I didn't see it in Man United at all. But I saw it in Newcastle. I saw it in them.
And you see, one thing I'll say as well, I'll say Ralf Rangnick has been stitched up almost with the time he's been given and the time he's been brought into the team. You see, Manchester United had numerous opportunities to, I think towards the end, we all agreed that Ole at a certain point had to go. And they had numerous opportunities. I can never forget that international break when it was almost like it was there. Will it happen? Will it happen? Will it happen? And it didn't happen. And then we waited on and they gave him another chance and then it eventually happened. You see, in my opinion, Manchester United had the moment to give whoever was coming in next a bit more time to, just make something happen. And what we're seeing with Ralf Rangnick is he's being dropped in the deep end at probably the most important part of the season where we just need results. And this team, they're low in confidence, they're low in ambition, they're low in drive, they're low in, like you said, passion, energy, desire, all of the above. They're low in it. So now
basics.
Yeah.
And quality as well, quality, bro.
Yeah, and right now, Ralf Rangnick doesn't just have to improve the quality of the play, or doesn't have to just implement a new playing style altogether, but he now has to find a way to pick these guys up mentally, get them in the right state of mind to perform, because that running going in towards the end of the season is no joke. We already saw what them teams did to us, or most of them teams did to us in the first leg of fixtures. So these guys are somehow going to have to find themselves in the mental state to be able to perform at a high level, to be able to get us just in the top 4. So it's amazing how this season has unfolded and how everything has just imploded.
Listen, after one game bounce, Man United's top 4 ambitions are done. So that's why I'd rather finish 9th or 10th than finish in Europe. I don't want Europe. I'll come back to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, it's a difficult job, this, because we are down in the doldrums, as CM was saying. I remember when Klopp came, man, you have to change the mentality, the belief. Every game, every game is a cup final. I don't think the top 4 is dead. It's very hard. But Ralf Rangnick has got a lot of work to do, man. And today, I think it's extra bad because you're thinking after a couple of weeks, I was personally excited to see what we're going to get today. And we've seen all this before, this kind of football, this kind of just, the balloon pops and nothing happens. But we've got no choice now. We have to give him time. We have to get behind him. And see what he can do. He knows it's not good enough. Obviously, you've been reading what the comments are saying. He's honest at least about the assessment. It's not a step in the right direction. We didn't win our duels. So he's saying the right things. And all you can do is hope that, the work that he does, the players buy into it and they crack on. But I did say to you last time, this new regiment, this training regime, it could get a little bit difficult before it gets better as the body's getting used to it. Now, I don't know even if they're training every day or what's been happening with COVID, but it's quite a transition. We were the team that ran the least, and now we're trying to be a team that's going to run a lot and, high intensity. So I think that transition has not been helped with COVID. So for me, bro, today was terrible.
But that doesn't affect the whole team passing 5 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards.
It doesn't.
I might give you the running, but it doesn't affect. We are the worst team in possession. The worst team in possession. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. We don't need a tactician. We need a guy who can drill fucking basic passing. Basic passing. You're a professional footballer. You have the ball. You have it. You work with the ball every day. You can't make 20-yard, 30-yard passes somebody's feet. Even our goals, the ball is always behind. Our strikers, our attacking players always have to adjust. The passing today from Sancho in the second half, all game from Rashford. Ronaldo was at it as well. From the midfield.
Everybody, the whole thing was rubbish.
From Bruno, from bloody Telles, from the lot, every one of them. I remember Harry Maguire's long ball.
But Nuruddin also, can I say, all you can only be brief is that what you just said there, though, also is another issue, is that we don't have a leader. We just don't have a leader. And that's the other thing as well. We don't have a guy to kick the players up on the pitch at the backside and say, what the hell are we playing at? What's going on? We don't have a leader. So there's the other thing we've just highlighted. From that, all the issues we've got, that is the other big one. That's the other elephant in the room. We just don't have that guy.
And
Do you know
that's
we've,
cool.
we've
Can I
spent here, boys?
answer this quickly? Big up Windy Grant. By the way, there's over 100 of you in here. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Here, we just talk passionately. Our views, nobody's views is better than anybody else. Everybody's views welcome. Big up Windy Grant. Merry Christmas, sis. I hope you're having a wonderful time there in the US of A.
Merry Christmas.
And I'll say, if we don't have the players to play 4-2-2, why is PR, the genius, persisting playing formation in the place? To me, because we don't have the width, because as Ali Boumbaye explained before, when you play in this system, the fullbacks have to act like wingers. They have to be up there. But to me personally, when you don't have midfielders that can pass the ball to these guys, that can switch the ball, can switch that 30, 40 yards, it's gonna be too slow. By that time, the team has gone into shape. And when you lose the ball, if you're not pressing and putting out the passing lanes, because your fullbacks have gone off the pitch, you're going to be exposed. And that's what happened to us today. But go ahead, Ali Boumbaye. I'll let you finish your point.
Bro, you made the point, really. I mean, every single person, Tom as well included, is making a valid point. And that's actually the problem in itself, in that I don't have any closure with exactly what the fundamental issues are which need resolving in order to make our football in line with the quality of players that we have. Is it the manager? Is he going to persist with something that he can't win? Is there an influence telling him what to play? Do we need new players? Is it the system? Have they bought into the system, or are they looking at him and thinking, this is not working, we don't want this guy? Was it the players under Oli, or was it Oli? Do you understand? There are so many variables here, all of them relevant. But where do you start?
It was both with Oli. With Oli, for 2.5 years, I defended him. And I called it out, and I was on here on this channel. A lot of people hated that because I was like, well, every manager that comes to Manchester United is, first of all, working with one arm tied behind his back. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was there because he realized how to navigate the Glazers. But for me, when you come out and say, I don't do the coaching, and then your two coaches are two inexperienced coaches at this level, or Man United level, and you got Mickey Phelan, that to me, you made your bed and you have to lie in it. Because his decisions cost that. His decisions, right?
I mean, imagine now, Dino, imagine Rangnick just doesn't change now. And this is a different footballing kind of guy, whatever. And he just decides, you know, it's Fred and McTominay, it's Bruno, it's Rashford. That's how I want to play. I'm going to keep going until they get it right. No matter how many eggs get broken.
No, but that's fine. That's totally fine. All I know is this. When Ralf Rangnick worked as a manager and was coaching as a manager, right? Because for a lot of the time, people don't forget, he was working to build football teams as a football team. That's why I was excited about him. I was excited because I thought, we'll get the new manager bounce, and then he'll install basic things. He'll just teach them basic things about how to close down the nearest player, how to do. But at the end of the day, the COVID has been running madness, and some people are having a go at Maguire for coming out. But if in the last 3 weeks, if the coaching, if the training ground's been closed twice, right? Are we expecting too much? When a lot of the players that Maguire said have had COVID, was that Omicron style of play? Was that Ralph's, or was that the Omicron? Can we use that as an excuse? All I know is today,
do you know, were the players shy?
All I know is that today, that wasn't good enough, and it's not been good enough. And all it is being the pattern, you change the manager, same old problems. Midfielders can't pass the ball, wasting possession. Midfielders can't build up play. And players who are playing like they've made it. Players who are making like, it's not a crime. Like when you're playing for Man United, it should be a crime when you lose the ball. When you lose the ball, it should be a crime. You should be found. I'm telling you now, I will introduce this whole into FIFA and UEFA and through football clubs, through countries, FAs, players' contracts. When you will get paid to how many thousands are decreased from your wages every week when you play, when you give the ball away. Because at the end of the day, as professional footballers, you cannot be losing easy possession like that. We could go around in houses. To me, we're in trouble. Me personally, from what I've seen against Norwich, because to me, it only takes me to see it twice. And I always call it. This Man United team will have to do something miraculous for them to finish top 4 against resurgent, new manager bounce Spurs. and Arsenal. Arsenal, who don't play in the Europa League football, they have a week to week when we get back to normal schedule to play in that. They're only in the League Cup. They'll get out of the League Cup. They'll just focus on the FA Cup and they'll focus on the league, right? They've already won this FA Cup with this manager. They'll focus their thing, their remit is to finish top 4 with Arteta. With the 2 performances I saw today, with 2 possible relegation teams, shows me Man United ain't going anywhere too soon. And you know what? When Villa get hold of us, we're out of the FA Cup. We might be at Old Trafford. I'm putting it on record here. Man United are going out the FA Cup. For me, what I saw today was that possible all things. Players, virus. Players not trained for 3 weeks. Players looking at Rangnick and going, guy, you're here for 6 months, mate.
I mean, look at that. Look at what you're saying there. Is it the coronavirus? Maybe are they looking saying it's not? I'm lost. I'll speak for. I'm lost. When you ask me what the problem is, I don't know. I'm only good at analyzing games because the problem. I wish I could say the problem. It's problems, bro. I don't know where they start and where they end. And this has been my problem with Man United since Alex Ferguson left. And I'm only retrospectively, the more I look back at what's come and gone, the more I think, maybe I didn't even know what I was on about. Maybe I don't even know if this was the problem or that was the problem, because there is an amalgamation of problems in a club that has been drifting without being arresting the situation. And I don't know what's going to happen. We always said this could go tits up with Ralf. But what choice do we have now but to hang on? It's only 3 games. Top 4 does look bleak. I mean, I'm always hopeful. But it's just killing me to be tuning in to what I was hoping to get away from. Today, I wanted to kill myself, bro. I just want to see something. I just want to see something decent.
You know what? A friend of mine who I've not spoke to, a school friend, right? He's seen that I'm on the channel now on YouTube and that. And I saw him. And you know what he said to me? He goes, I dread watching Man United. I used to look forward to it for years.
It's true, man. Honestly, you just don't know what you're going to get anymore. Do you know today?
This season, we do know what we're going to get. We're going to get a pile of shit.
Yeah, we do. Like today, everybody's like, you have to win 4-0, 3-0. And when I say no, they think I'm trying to cover my back or something in case I'm like, you don't understand. You're just not sure what's happening. We could lose. And we probably did deserve to lose today.
We robbed them, to be fair. We robbed Newcastle.
Yeah, we did rob them. We didn't deserve a draw. No way.
We robbed Norwich. We robbed Norwich as well. CM, I'm gonna listen. Big up to CM, man. Made his debut tonight on United Real Therapy.
Yeah, big up CM, man.
Well done, brother. Well done, man.
Not the first. CM, let the people know how old you are.
20.
There we go. 20-year-old young man. There we go. You got the world. First of all, the world is your oyster, young man. The world is your oyster. I'll give anything to be 20 again. Anything.
I wouldn't know.
Your 20s are some of the most beautiful years, so make sure you are enjoying them.
Yeah, but make sure you're in good company.
Don't let in my 20s, Man United were winning everything. When it comes to football, I was a baller everywhere. I was letting everybody know, Man United, shut up. Man United. That's what I was going around telling everybody. But I will say, let them know where they can find you on social media.
First and foremost, appreciate you having me on Nuruddin. CM22ENT, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. Those are all my platforms.
There we go. That's his platform. So people, give the brother a follow, give him a subscribe. You saw how he broke it down. You can tell this young man is raised in a football culture, football home. People don't just chat macca, they know what they're talking about. And he just broke it down for you. The elements that you need in any football game. To me, that's my takeaway for me. When you broke down for them, the elements, any football team, whether it's a Sunday league around on the park, whether it's 5-a-side, all of the elements. And tonight, unfortunately, Man United were devoid of all of them. And thank God for Cavani. And how unlucky was that goal to go in, because his first shot was horrendous. Came back to him and he toe poked it in again. Natalie Sharp said that we made 4 shots. Are you sure? 4 shots on target? I didn't see that in the game. Maybe I was just too much in the days because of the passing. But Irfan, big up Irfan Rainey on Twitter. Like I said, we get to 5K. The channel is coming about food. We're going to talk about film. And by the way, I'm going to shout it out again. A lot of them are going to make you laugh. There's a film on Twitter. You can get it on Netflix, and it's called Don't Look Up. It'll make you laugh. It's a generation. The whole family can watch it. It's a very interesting film. It's a little gem because I've not seen any good films lately because cinema, you know what, the cinema's been closed and whatever.
Wait a second. Can I just say to everyone listening, Nuruddin, apart from being an expert on football,
I don't think so.
Also an expert. No, he is. Now, apart from he's also an expert on film, right? The psychology of film, the meaning of film, because he worked in one of the top art house cinemas in Manchester for a long time. So he plays it down, but when he talks about a film, he knows what he's talking about. So if he tells you about a film, it's very good advice. Believe you me, okay?
This film I'm going to talk to you about, if you watch it, we can discuss it. Maybe we'll just do it on the channel till we get to 5 grand. But this film has so many little gems in it that needs to be picked up. So many. But the biggest thing for me, what this film has done is to give people an insight about media, how media works. And that's the film you need to watch, honestly.
What's it called again, Nerdy? What's it called again?
Don't look up. Don't look up. Don't look up. Don't look up. Check it out. But Irfan Rainey on Twitter. Ali Bumbai, where can people catch you? Or shall I say Scott McTominay's driver?
You can get him on Instagram as well.
Scott, but isn't I'm gonna send it a clip. I'm gonna try and send the clip, right?
Man, if we continue,
Scott McTominay, and Scott McTominay might just meet you. Honestly, might go for a meal.
Braveheart, man, Braveheart. If we keep playing like this, then let's just start talking about films. Forget it.
By the way,
and
somebody who's
Phil
also
Jones,
passionate about cinema is also Ali Bombaye. He's super passionate about cinema.
Yeah,
he watches more films than anybody I know. More than anybody I know. He doesn't need to go to the cinema. He just watches films, man. He's an absolutely film buff. He's not asked about what gender of film it is. He just watches it. He'll tell you if it's good, if it's bad. But Al Pacino, don't ever talk about Al Pacino around him.
Yeah, please no. If Phil Jones was watching that today, there is a way back for him.
No.
I'm telling you, there
is a way back. Watching Maguire and Varane operate like that, I would be thinking, you know what? There is hope. Start training, lad. Get fit.
We tried to do this for an hour. We've gone on for 1 hour and we're going to finish at 2:30, right? CM, what are you hoping for? We're going to do, because I know I'm looking at the time. I'm like, I hate finishing on 27. I want to finish on 30. So we've got 3 minutes. So quickly, I'm going to just quick fire question to you guys, to you three guys. Man United already took a risk with interim manager. CM already said it partly, but we know what the media framing is going to be because Man United briefed today. They got sonographers. They're not journalists. They're sonographers. Who plays instead of Bruno against Burnley for you?
Well, we already know what's going to happen. Let's see if CM knows.
If Matic's going to start that game.
Wait. Let the man speak. Go on, brother. What are you going to do with Bruno when Bruno's not there? What's Ralf going to do?
You know what the thing is? I have no idea because people will say automatically put Donny van der Beek in. But that's not the right... For me, every time he's gone into Bruno's position, he's looked lost. He can't get possession of the ball because he's just not that type of guy. That's not the right position for him. So I don't know who can really replace Bruno. I don't know.
I think Matic will play. I think Matic will play. I think we're going to see a formation change. Man United, for me, the last point I'll say, the players that we have, 4-3-3 is the formation. I'm going to trip people's minds back. 4-3-3 when Oli first came in, we were doing bits. 4-3-3 one after the restart. For me, today, it looks like in the second half, we changed the formation to 3 in midfield and 2-1. That's what we changed it to. So, to me, 100% because of his height, I think Matic comes in against Burnley. Because you know what Burnley are going to do. They're going to hoof that ball up in the air.
I thought he was going to play Donny in Bruno's position because he's done it before. I just don't know.
Bruno,
I don't know who's going to play in Donny's position.
I agree with CM. In Premier League football, Donny van der Beek is a pass and move number 10. He's a guy who gets into the pockets, finds space, between the centre halves and the fullbacks. He finds his clever spaces. But for that, Man United have to totally dominate the midfield. And I can't see us dominating the midfield. When Burnley are going to be going for set pieces, every chance they're going to get, they're going to put it on the two strikers, and that's what they're going to do. For me, I don't think you can play, and I'm sorry, and I'm going to go out early. I'd be a miracle, and I'm happy to get it in a piece of paper, to eat it live on camera. I'm happy to have it 4-2-2, the pace of the Premier League, and the tactical nouns of the teams in the Premier League. 4-2-2 is not going to work. 4-3-3 is the formation of Man United with 3 disciplined midfield players. Not just one free role giving, 3 disciplined midfielders. Because if you allow your fullbacks to go wide as soon as we press, then the two guys who are in the midfield in a 3, 2 guys who are on the right and the left have to help the fullbacks, have to fill in for the fullbacks. I can only see that happening because I see it with Liverpool. Liverpool do that. They do that. You see Henderson, you see Fabinho, they're talking, they help. Even though they're changing the formation slightly, they're going more attacking because teams are scared. Teams give Liverpool so much respect now. They're scared. They don't try to attack them straight away. They defend. And Liverpool find ways quick with Thiago, with the movements they have, to breaking teams down. At the end of the day, we got 3 days. Is it Thursday we play? Early. It's going to be a wrap. For me,
bro, they can't play like this against Burnley. If you can't pass right, you have to fight at least.
I didn't see that.
If you don't, Ollie, they can't play. That's what I mean.
I didn't see it. You have to fight, bro. This is Burnley are going to come. Look at that game and think, you know what? They've got a soft underbelly. These.
You know, Nuruddin, though, Ollie's just said it, though. That's the other thing, though. The idea of people playing us, even the worst teams think you got a chance against them, and that never used to happen.
Oh.
So
listen, even under Ollie, the teams who got relegated beat us. That's what every team went to Cardiff, beat us, Huddersfield beat us. Who else went down when Ollie was there in that time? Every team that went down beat us when Ollie was there. Relegation teams, that's what they go back to their fans. Oh, well, at least we beat Man United. Do you remember that night? That night, it was a brilliant night. We beat Man United. Listen, I want to say a big thank you to everybody. At the end of the day, we're very passionate about point of views. Nobody's view is better than anybody else's. It's all about opinion. And that's why we love football, because if we weren't here now, if all 4 of us were in a pub or in a cafe or in a takeaway, we'd be talking exactly the same. This player, this and that. Those 2 are horrendous. No, those 2 are brilliant players. Those 2 are, get him out of the team. What is it about this club that favours him? That's why we love football, people. That's why I always say football, 90 minutes unscripted drama. Today, a team that's most likely going to go down, unless they buy 5 players who can come into that team and get them firing to achieve a miracle, thing that has not been achieved before, is Newcastle. They made us look like a relegation team that's going down with them. Norwich did the same. Top 4, that's why for me top 4 is gone, because we've got too many teams who are competing. But big up to every one of you in the comments. Big up. CM, like I said, absolute amazing. Everybody here is giving it. Yeah, let them know about your channel. You do something different. But as soon as you host a podcast in your channel, we can't all wait to be on there, man. We can't. I'm looking forward to it, 100%. So, love, respect to you. You know, Ali Bombaya, you find him on here. He doesn't go anywhere else other than this in Scott McTominay's shadow. You know what I mean? He's there picking everything. Go ahead, Scott. You're still the best for me, Scott. You're still the best for me. And Irfan, you could always find him in some of the clubs playing jams. But we'll see. New Year's Eve, everything cancelled there, isn't it? Everybody's on.
No, it's not. It's not. New Year's Eve's on. New Year's Eve's on. I've been looking today, Nuruddin.
Is it on? Town is so dead. It's like a pin drop. It's crazy.
Well, look online. Everyone's going to be doing the parties on New Year's Eve. It looks like it.
Well, let's have a look. Boris in it, because Boris can't get away with it, can he? Because he got caught partying a bit too much, didn't he? Him and his gang.
That could be the reason.
Absolutely. He's never going to tell this nation you can't have a New Year's Eve. He's never going to say that. But big up to every one of you. Please share, subscribe to the channel. The quicker we get to 5,000, the more you'll hear about films. You get film recommendation from Irfan, Ali Bombay, and I'm sure gaming. I'm sure he's a gamer. If you're on Twitch, that means you're a gamer.
Yeah.
CM will be telling you where is that.
100.
Big up to every one of you. Love and respect. I hope you're having a. I hope that that performance didn't knock the stuffing out of you. I hope. I hope it hasn't. I hope that you can still celebrate the new year coming in. You're still merry with a cherry.
Shit out of us, man.
You know what I mean? Because that was depressing what we saw. But you know what? With football, there's always another game around the corner. And thank God. What would take the piss now if Burnley go, nah, we've got COVID? Or United all report go, we've got COVID again. And they lock down that game.
No, if you've got COVID, what's the difference? They play like they got COVID anyway.
They play like Omicron, mate. Oh my God. Honestly, Man United are the only football club to have one game bounce, people. One new manager, one game bounce. Remember that? And that was for half an hour, like CM told us. It was for half an hour.
So Stallone couldn't write this shit, man.
Yo, big up. Yo, also check out the merch as well. I just realized you got CM merch there, man.
Yeah, mum got me it for Christmas. So big up Mumsy. Yeah.
No, I like it, you know. I might have to, you know what? You might have to do something, you know, because I'll buy one. No problem.
All right, then.
Hoodie, man. I like the hoodie. Trust me.
Cool.
Merch is out already, man. These young entrepreneurs, man. None of that. Mum's setting you on the road already. Peace, love, light. We'll lose or draw. Everything has a context. Bankers out, Glazers out. Always. Because without them, if we had different people in charge of our football club, we will not be sitting here arguing about this player, that player. We will just be enjoying the football. Fish always rots from the head. The chickens have come home to roost. And these chickens are roosting. It's been a 9-year roost. It could be another 5-10 years roost as well. I don't want it to be right, people, but it could be. Omicron FC, mate. There we go. Malcolm said it. Comment of the night. Omicron FC. Take care. Peace, love, and light.
Yes,
nice one, people. Love. We'll see you on the other side. We'll see you we're going to be doing a match preview. Should we even bother? Should we even bother doing a match preview for Burnley? But we'll try to do one the next 2 days. We'll see. Peace. Take care, people. And Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I hope you're enjoying the festive season. Don't let this spoil you. It's the only time I'm ever going to tell you, get back on that sherry. Get back on that rum. Get back on that red wine. Get back on that white wine, whatever your spirit is, or the herbal tea, if you're having a herbal tea. Get back on watching those films, man. Holiday, festive season films to cheer you up, because tonight, I couldn't even give you the therapy. Trust me. It was a shambles. Peace. Hey.